Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. Yeah. I hope my team they won. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, too tired. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Roller Mark? I am an HBCU field Negro. Please understand. If your child has Howard as a dream school, come. But if you can't afford it, I promise for God, Alabama State is a great, not only alternative, you will not regret it. You got to treat HBCUs like there's 105 of them and it's one big campus with 105 locations. As far as I'm concerned, bro.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, 105 locations. As we discuss HBCU sports news across the board, welcome to episode 841 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, a show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports. For institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA, we share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta, along with my co-host, Charles Bishop. Mike Washington's out on assignment, but you know we're going to bring in AD, and Kelvin is joining us as a sneak preview as we kind of hide in and take a backdrop to St. Louis and give some love up that way. But we're filming from our home studio, sending a signal live to KCWA 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer. That's multi-Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home at Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. And for those who don't know, that is Dr. Greg Carr. He is a professor at Howard University, and he is in the Department of Africana Studies as an Africana Studies professor. Read a lot of his work grounded in his theories and teach from that perspective. So when he brings the knowledge, I happily have to share it. In this case, I thought it resonated with a lot of us on the sports side that have pride for our own HBCUs and certainly pull for them on game day. But uniquely, we extend that pride to all HBCUs with conferences in the mix when we have those friendly rivalries. So I thought it was appropriate to share a little love before that. Before we go on and open it up, there's some big news of the day. I wanted to play something and see what the gentlemen think about it when we get into the news on the other side. Let's go ahead and play the next video.
We're here at Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia for our opening press conference for the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota. This year we have the Alabama A&M Bulldogs taking on the Howard University Bison.
Oh, it's huge for us. It's truly an exciting experience for us. We're really looking forward to it. Being on the national stage in prime time on ABC, we couldn't ask for a better start to our season.
It's important for us to get this type of platform because we don't have it all the time. So when we get an opportunity to showcase our skill set on ABC, we want to be able to put our best foot forward and make sure that the world has an opportunity to see exactly what we have to offer.
The most important thing about opening the season on this national stage is the fact that it is a national stage. The MEAC SWAC Challenge occurs in that very first week of the season, where we'll have all eyes of people who are looking to see football come back. All eyes will be on us. And it's an opportunity to showcase not just the brand of Howard or the brand of Alabama A&M, as well as all HBCUs. It's an opportunity to tell all of their stories, both on and off the field.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see everyone. It's exciting to see both schools giving their all. And so it's exciting to see that the game is about to be played. The season is about to be started. And also to have the band directors here. The bands are a critical role in HBCU football. And so we are excited about the press conference. We're excited about having the fans be excited about the game here in Atlanta.
It really culminates with the Celebration Bowl at the end, but the MEAC SWAC Challenge kicks everything off. It's a big opportunity for Cricket to showcase our brand on a national stage, to showcase who Cricket is as a brand. We provide fast, affordable connectivity to all of our consumers, and there's no bigger stage to kick off the season than the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
If you're out there, you're not in Atlanta on August the 29th. If you're not at Center Park Stadium, if you're not at the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge presented by Toyota, then you're in the wrong place. But if you can't make it, be sure to tune in at 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Either way, we'll see you there.
You're in the wrong place. Let's bring everybody on board so we can get into it. We got Charles Bishop. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Doc. Doing well. Looking forward to it tonight. Get into a little HBCU football talk. Camp is open for a lot of people. I hear the whistles when I get on campus in the morning. They going hard at it over there at Texas Southern.
Very true. In the last three segments, we're going to go and break down some schedules, get your thoughts on individual schedules, where teams may be win-loss record, maybe some exciting games. And we'll go through all FCS, get a chance to do a couple of Division II programs as well. So you'll see that until we kick off things to get folks really focused on HBCU sports. We'll still do our intro news segment as you're doing now. So very appropriate when you talk about those whistles, because it is coming. With that being said, AD Drew, how you doing today?
105 HBCU locations, one near you. Hey, look, I'm back home in St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out with my homeboy Kelvin. Look, I done had my Emo's Pizza. I done had my shrimp St. Paul. So all is good when I get back home and get my palate back right.
For those who don't know, that's Brother Carr. A lot of people know him as Kelvin. I'm not sure what some people call him, but we'll leave that alone.
We're not talking my names up here, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good to have you on the show today. Be able to give you a perspective, always fascinating. Let's get right back into the hot news of the day. That is the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff. And I see your logo down. I like that.
And this was not intentional.
Oh, really? So
you did not know the other one was wearing the shirt.
Let me get the last part presented by Toyota to make sure we stay appropriately on par, if you would. Things kick off. Heard a little bit about this maybe sneaking out there, but now it's official. 2027, Morgan State Bears, the first time they get a chance to participate in the event. So I know those fans are going to be excited. Get down to Atlanta. Man, Morgan State Bear has a lot of history. They're trying to rebuild some things. Coach over there looking to get it done, but they face off against Alabama State, a huge brand in itself. A team this year is going to be fighting to end things 2026 in Atlanta. We'll see how that works out. And then they can at least start some things. We've seen a couple other teams do that. But Charles, going back to you, what are your thoughts in terms of 2027, which is Morgan State? Obviously this year, as you see here, is Alabama A&M and Howard. 2026 will be there. And you saw that as part of that intro there. And then you have in 2028, you have Jackson and Norfolk State. Should be fascinating. Jackson State is always lively when they go in Atlanta. They like to believe they own Atlanta, and they think they should be the regular, so they're back on it. And then you got the intriguing with Michael Vick, who played a lot of his NFL career right there in Atlanta, obviously, as a Falcon. So he'll be back leading his Spartans there. And we'll see what that means over these next two seasons of what that matchup could be. Then you come back with the South Carolina State that just ended their season there, and they're looking to come back. They've been there 2 years straight at the end of the year. And they will face Alcorn State in 2029. So Kelvin is happy, shaking his hands. I don't know how y'all get this done. Y'all must know some people. Anyway, Charles, what are your thoughts?
Well, the one with Jackson State, Norfolk State. I'm gonna put the football game on the mantle there for a second. But the Sonic Boom of the South versus Spartan Legion.
Ooh.
I mean, you talk about heavyweight bands. That one jumps out for me to start the season off. So
yeah, that could be a band of the year contest in terms
of band of the year type deal there.
Not really. Not really. Charles, you already know. Now, I will give Norfolk State credit. I heard them at MEAC SWAC Challenge a few years back, and it was really surprising to hear how good they sounded and the volume that they carried with the size of band. But just on sheer size alone, the Sonic Boom it's like an AM/FM radio versus what we playing on today. So
we'll see by 2028 what Norfolk State can bring. But yeah, that's heavyweight. That's elbows going at each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me throw my 2 cents in on that.
Let me go to you, AD Drew. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna just start off with that one. What I like about it is because two great bands, but two totally different styles, two totally different sounds. So, whatever your preference is, and the people from the South are gonna favor Jackson State. The people from the MEAC are gonna favor the Legion. So it's just gonna be that part. You may have more people buy tickets just for halftime than for the matchup itself. Now, let's assume this though. You got those two bands, and if Vic is still at Norfolk coming back to Atlanta.
Yeah, if the man signed a 5-year deal, he gonna be there.
Well, yeah, he should still be there. But he may have that breakout season and get up out of town before he has this opportunity. He in
a straitjacket. What are you gonna break out of?
Think about it. Hold up. Think about it. Because the last time we was in this situation where everybody was waiting on that one former Falcon to come back to Atlanta for the challenge, he skipped town 6 months before. They was waiting on Prime to come back for the challenge, and what happened? TC made his debut.
Well,
did he make his debut in the challenge?
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna ask you about this
for Cup Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he did get here for that, but that was just another one of those
just
things.
a little cricket celebration.
And also that was also supposed to be the year Jackson was going to Tallahassee for the first time under Prime, but once again, skipped town just in the nick of time.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go to you, Kelvin, in terms of this South Carolina State, Alcorn State, 2029. I saw you putting your hands together, so it means that you're appropriate. I'm just glad that there's some Western Division representation in the game. It's been all East Division, so we at least get, I know it's still Mississippi, but at least we get somebody in there.
Yeah, I think actually they're two very similar institutions. So Alcorn is a little bit more similar to A&T and South Carolina State, I believe, in terms of like demographic and persons that go to the university. So they both keep a lot of home cooked meals, to say, in the stable. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. I think, Mr. Grant has done nothing but a stellar job of providing us with matchups that could kind of cross-pollinate. And Drew and I talked about it, like, what do these matchups look like, creating these new rivalries? We talked about this yesterday, of incubating the dollars within it. And I think that's one of the precursors that MEAC SWAC has always seen. Like, what can we do to incubate dollars? Like Jackson State this year is playing that schedule with no money game on it. So I want to see what AD Robinson, how the books look after a season of no money games, how the Tiger fans support that. And is that going to be a model for some of our other schools moving forward?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, I'm looking at Coach Wilson. I want to see what Coach Wilson's going to do with them Bears in this matchup. I'm fascinated about what may take place this year And then you talk just a little bit about the following year. Well, that could be a lot of momentum. And then again, how does Alabama State finish this year? It makes it really fascinating going in there. Or there be some questions. You imagine that they'll have a new quarterback for Alabama State in their game unless somehow you body get another year. Never mind.
Yeah, but they got the best backup quarterback in the SWAC probably already on the roster, assuming that he stays. And speaking of that game, for all those folks in that Baltimore D.C. area, and I can prove this because I was just there last week. It's an under 2-hour flight.
Yeah,
direct flight.
Charles,
direct flight from all the DMV airports.
I saw you with your little antenna, and your quarterback is no longer the backup. So.
No, he is not. But I hear there is something waiting in the wings, so I'm a little excited.
Look at you teasing out that kind of language. Let's take our first break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll get into our first independent schedule. Get these gentlemen's thoughts on breaking that down, some highlights in regards to the big games to keep your eyes on, any television matchups, things like that. But we'll go a thorough analysis on our first schedule when we get back on the other side. This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V1085 radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book, and your digital passport to a world of savings. Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Hey, it's preparation. We're preparing right now. We're preparing right now for where we want to be. Preparation is the word for the day. The separation is in the preparation. You might be better than me. You might be more talented than me. You might have more, whatever. But you will not outwork me. The separation where we want to be is in the preparation. The separation on how you're going to climb up the depth chart is on how you prepare to get to that moment. The separation is in the preparation. The Navy SEALs have a saying that I love. You don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training preparation. Don't think because it's a big game, oh, I'm going to turn up today. I'm going to turn up. No, your preparation is going to take care of it. So again, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. Your training is right now. When the fourth quarter comes, when it's 3rd and 2, when the game is on the line, you're not going to magically become a better football player. You're going to become exactly what you prepared yourself to be. Footwork, pad now, eye discipline. This, all that matters. That's why every drill matters, every rep matters, every meeting matters, every walkthrough matters. Dame Lillard, y'all know Dame, right? I love this quote right here. Dame says something every one of us should remember. If you want to look good in front of thousands, you have to outwork thousands in front of nobody. Practice. When we lined up, first Savannah State game was going to be 20,000 out there, right? If you want to look good in front of thousands, you got to outwork thousands in front of nobody. The world celebrates what happens in public. God and your character are built what happens in private. Your character is built what happens in private, all right? So today is challenge. So today, don't practice for applause. Don't practice for applause. Practice for preparation. Because when your opportunity comes, you won't rise to the occasion. You'll fall back on your preparation.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, and we see coaches at it again, preparing it. But the teams around the HBCU sports with their media, a lot of them are really getting good, and you see some great content across the social media platform, and this is another example of giving some folks some insight in terms of how coaches are motivating their players, not just beyond game day, which you expect, but also what it means leading into that. You know, these individuals, young people, if you would, they work extremely hard. And we kind of know that, but we don't really say it. But to continue to have folks to work that hard, particularly at a sport that is so physical, there is a component of it that is about motivation. And it is the ability to navigate and try to get people to play at the highest level they're able to attain for the most amount of time possible. And that gives you oftentimes a really good position to win. So I want to share that a little bit. That's from our national champion, Black College champion, Coach Chennis Berry, 2020-25. Who's going to do it in 2026? Well, let's start out with our first game to watch. But before we do that, I did want to give a shout out to LHM Hospitality Management in St. Louis and the Shy Shower Inn for hosting HBCU Sports Lab there with Kelvin and AD out of St. Louis, Missouri. Wanted to give them some love in terms of what that looks like. So extremely excited about that. So let's get in here and check out some games, if you would, and see what you think about this first matchup in this segment. Let's look at Hampton. Hampton's schedule here. I want to say that this is brought to you by HBCU Central. I want to give them some shout out, doing some really nice graphic work. Young folks that are in the HBCUs, and I came across this and were fascinated about the work they're doing. So I want to give them a great bit of shout out. Got connected to them through Ja, who's also doing a lot of work. So these individuals are getting their foot in the door in terms of being about the culture and getting into sports management in a lot of ways, and sports broadcasting. A lot of them are doing it firsthand through HBCU social media content. So got an HBCU matchup to start things off, but it is against Virginia Lynchburg. The big news in a lot of ways for Lynchburg is you won't be seeing them on the SWAC schedules moving forward, as one of the hot topics during the summer was the fact that the presidents and chancellors of the SWAC, through Charles, that delivered as the commissioner, that they have voted not to have those games on the schedule. But Hampton has not, and they'll start things off. Got to imagine this one would be pretty easy, but then they decide to step it up. They go to Maryland, so you're talking about the sides of two different worlds. Getting a little conference play with Bryant. Then we get that old matchup with the rival. Used to be a conference game. And that was one time to see a AA conference game, then a MEAC conference game. Now it's a non-conference game with a lot of pride. Hampton has had Norfolk's number of late.
Still the Battle of the Bay.
Battle of the Bay, you're right, it is. So fascinating there. And then you get back into it, conference. Campbell travels to Hampton. Remember, they're renovating that facility. So the first couple of games, they will be playing at a high school facility in Hampton until everything is finished there. Then they travel over there against that battle of the real HU, as a lot of people says of late. That HU is stand for Hampton, if you would have it. And then you have some other conference games, namely as you get to another HBCU matchup that happens to be a conference game as well as A&T. Both teams are finished at the bottom of the conference. Hopefully that does not hold true. But if it does, in a lot of ways, you are talking about the fact that that may be the game that somebody gets their first conference win. Charles, give me a little insight, if you would. What stands out to you, Hampton? First, we'll go there, and then we'll talk a little bit more about expectations for the Hamptons under the new coach this year.
Yeah, Van Malone, when you look at what he's doing there at Hampton second year, but, you kind of take a look at it, and I think the big thing for Hampton, if they're going to get off the bottom of the conference, they got 7 returning starters coming back, and the offensive line is coming back relatively intact. So I think that's big when you take a look at, can they get a running game up and going? What concerns me, though, is only 4 defensive starters coming back. So how quickly a lot of new faces can gel on the defensive side of the ball is going to be a huge thing for Hampton. But you could see it. This is not an easy schedule, so it could potentially be another struggle type year until they get better depth and things of that nature. But you go back to Hampton starting off the season last year against Jackson State. They were played Jackson State really, really hard through the first 3 quarters, and they kind of wore down in the fourth quarter.
Charles, how long is it going to get them to take some more depth? I mean, they got 26 points sitting at the bottom of the conference. How long is this period of transformation? How long do you give them? How long is it going to take?
You get one more season, and you got to come with it next season.
Okay. I'm glad that you got some light on the other side of the tunnel, because for a minute there, I didn't know if that was going to be the new talking point every year. That they
I give them they got a little grace period.
Is that right? Kelvin, help us out here. Charles said they got a little grace period. I'm of the point that I need to see something. What games do you see here in terms that may have at least excite you going in? And then, as Charles alluded to, what is your predicted? They're predicted the preseason number 13. They're below A&T. So new coach, everybody has little faith. I mean, there is a 2-point difference, I guess, 26-28. Even the Great Danes have 35 points in terms of Albany there, above both of those teams in the 11th spot. Where are you going with Hampton Pirates?
I think one of the things that actually favors them is they have limited travel in their schedule. Probably outside of that last season game against Stony Brook. What's intriguing about Hampton, and always has been, is that when I look at them across the sports that they compete in and going into the CAA, and they gave all the reasons for wanting to get out of the MEAC, it's just odd that they have not been able to at least inch their way up into the middle of the pack. They have facility, they have reputation, but it's just been intriguing the whole time. And they compete well, like Charles said, against Jackson State last year. But I do find it rather strange that they have not managed to, even with Tennessee State over in the OVC, they get out and compete at some point. It just seems like that Hampton is not competing very well within that conference.
Hope Springs Eternal, AD Drew, can you provide us some thoughts in terms of the schedule? Where do you see Hampton going? Can they get over 6 wins? Can they get to the 6-win mark?
I think that might be their ceiling, would be 6, because if their toughest stretch is actually the opening stretch. Outside the Virginia Lynchburg game, I mean, when you got Maryland, well, that's an L, but Bryant, Norfolk, and Campbell, if they can get through that, because they do not face the top opponents in the CAA this year, which is why I say 6 could be a realistic ceiling for Hampton. But you talk about the MEAC Kelvin and them leaving the MEAC Dr. Cavil. You know, it's mighty funny. You know, it's like that cat who done moved out the neighborhood. He grew up in the hood and then moved out to the suburbs, but he still go down to the liquor store in the hood. He still go hang out in the corner in the hood. You still hanging in the hood because look at all the doggone HBCUs that you still got on your schedule whenever you get an opportunity to get one on your schedule. So make up your mind. If you're going out to the burbs, you have to go out to the burbs and be out there. Just go. We see you on Christmas, but I don't need to see you every weekend hanging out with us, man. That's I'm sorry.
That wouldn't make any sense though. Like I went to A&T like 2 years ago and watched them play Delaware, and everybody on that campus was saying, you know, we can't wait till we play another HBCU.
You shouldn't have moved to the burbs. You should have seen.
That is not the case.
You shouldn't have left and went to the burbs.
No, everybody in the burbs.
You should have moved to the country. You should have stayed in the city.
We're gonna take our next break because this is not getting any better. So I'm gonna go into our next game after this break. Independent schedule and see if maybe they get a little more excitement. Maybe there's more opportunity on the other side as we get into our next matchup. We'll be right back after this next break.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Compress the analytic data with your hip-hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I'm here with the professors. We got AD and Kelvin on the road there. We got Charles that is trying to get on the roads, so I appreciate him giving us. As we get into our next schedule, maybe we can get a little more fired up for A&T. Yeah, they in the conference. They're not picking much better, but there's just something about A&T that gets some people rubbed that way. Again, this is courtesy of HBC Central Network. Home to Michael, who is the visionary, as they call him there, and Deuce. No, not my Deuce. This is a different Deuce. Giving him proper kudos. Charles, I'm going to make you wait because your face is all frowned up.
No problem. I will wait.
I'm trying to get somebody to get excited about A&T, and it is not Charles. Maybe I can get Kelvin. Kelvin,
well,
you got Morgan State here at A&T. They do go up for an FBS matchup, but it's the G6. And while some people, like myself, don't necessarily like the FBS, G6s may make you a little bit comfortable, but the Sun Belt has been very formidable. Then you got that old backyard brawl, but it hasn't been fair to A&T. So I'm intrigued, can A&T even make it a game this year? The Eagles have seen to make this personal against the Aggies. Last 2 years, they put up, 60-some points, Charles?
Yeah.
It's gotten ugly. Then they get into some conference play. Obviously, we talked about the Hampton game, but they're on the road in Hampton. So they don't have any HBCU you see here at home. So it's a little different. Well, they do have the historical, predominantly black Chicago State that was flirting with them trying to get into the conference. So, Kelvin, A&T schedule.
4 out of the first 6 games on the road. Tough, grueling schedule. Let's talk about it. Morgan State, and then they'll fold that. I'll tell you, the interesting game is going to be that Georgia State game on September 4th, which is a Friday night game.
I see they found a way to get to Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, I just think true. I do think. Yeah, I know. But I do think Drew and I were just talking offline about this. He said they all run out, but they want to come play. And I was looking at A&T's schedule, and true to form, what he said was about right. Because they got Morgan State, North Carolina Central, and Georgia State, and Chicago State, which most people don't know this, that Georgia State graduates more African-American graduates than any other institution, because that's what they are, basically because they're urban university there in Atlanta. But I think based on their schedule, I just think they should be all right. 12 games, 4 non-conference games, 8 CAA games. They might go 7-5, based upon the schedule.
If they're going 7-5, that would be a huge statement. I think a lot of people in A&T would take that right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but see, they got a highly favorable piece after they get outside of. They got Elon for homecoming, and they closed the year against Albany. I think those are 2 teams that they could actually beat. Now, how will they be able to handle Morgan State? And Georgia State that'll be the game that might be the telltale of their season, because if Georgia State runs away with them, they might be in trouble.
I'm going to Charles because he can't even keep a straight face.
All right, Charles.
I don't know if I can get them to 7 win. The big thing for me with North Carolina A&T is can their offensive line get back to what they used to be? And the thing I'm really kind of excited about with Sean Gibbs at least coming in, there's like the program, there's sort of a rejuvenation around the program. And one of the first things he pointed out is the offensive line was just porous last year. I mean, they couldn't keep a quarterback upright, and worse than that, they couldn't run the football. So I think those are the things that I'm kind of paying attention to with regards to A&T. Can they get back to what they used to look like? It's tough. I mean, I think the home games, I think hosting Morgan, I can lean towards them there. Like Kelvin, I'll lean towards them on homecoming. Albany, I'll lean towards them, but I got them somewhere 3, hopefully.
Hampton, what you got for Hampton?
On the road, no, that's a neutral site game.
No,
I'll give them that win. I'll give them that win over Hampton.
Okay.
AD, Charles say he got him 4 or 5 wins.
Look, I just need.
Sports talk, you say A&T got to get better in football. That's it. I mean, the question, we know that, but how? What is the secret to the sauce? As I asked Hampton, how they gonna get better? Go ahead, A&T. I'm sorry,
Charles. You say you want to see A&T get back to the A&T of old. I just want to see Sean Gibbs get back to the Sean Gibbs of Fort Valley State when he used to run the crap out the ball and everything, and that winning formula that he had at Fort Valley State. Can we get that translated over to A&T? Can A&T make the Aggie put the Aggie back in the Aggie Eagle Classic? Because it's just been fly Eagle fly for about the last 5-6 years with the Aggie Eagle Classic. They have a manageable schedule also, like Hampton does. Like, say you got 4, can they sneak a couple more in there and get to 500 and get that momentum? Because we know if A&T is competitive, we know how that fan base and how rabid that fan base is
or isn't.
Exactly. They are fair weather. They are hot or cold. When A&T is hot, they will support that team. We just haven't seen it since MEAC days.
Well, Dr. Cavil, here's a question then. The 2 teams that we discussed to start out with both left MEAC for CAA. What has changed about the dynamics of their recruiting?
Actually, let me cut you off. They left the MEAC for the Big South, then left the Big South for the CAA.
Okay.
True.
They left.
I don't. That's a good question in terms of the recruiting. You really need to ask the folks involved and the coaches. I'm not sure if we could get an honest opinion. You would think not much has changed in terms of the recruiting, but they may not be the case. I think when you're recruiting at the level of playing in the Colonial, one of the things you talk about is the finance. And I think people kind of slap that aside in terms of the finances. But where that pays off is what you're able to do in terms of expectations of folks that you're recruiting, right? Everybody likes nice things, but if you're recruiting a certain group of college athletes, there may be some that look at other things. They may look at majors. They may look at the culture of your matchups of historically playing in the SWAC or historically playing in the MEAC, which could give you an advantage. And so you don't have that. So now you're selling that you're playing. At one time, many people saw the CAA as the best conference. I think with some of the departures of late, that's a hard argument to continue to make in terms of that conference. But the facilities that you're competing against in that conference. Because usually when you're talking about a conference, right, the conference itself, while you have folks within the state that, you get your players from your state and your region. But outside of that, oftentimes you're competing against other conference members for the same players. So what are you going to be able to recruit them over? You're not saying that you're chasing championships. So you lose that chip that you would want to be able to play. There's still Jackson State or Prairie View can at least play that chip, right? For their you can, if you're Prairie View, you play that, hey, we have a new facility. You can play that. Do they have a new facility to sell? But do some other teams in the CA have new facilities? They can sell that. If you're Jackson State, You say, hey, we have a significant fan base. All right, you're Alcorn. You talk about, hey, you hadn't been here for some of our rivalry games. Check us out. We're right on the edge. Alabama State and said, hey, we were one play away. Alabama A&M has new stadium. You got a new coach that's inviting it. They got the new coach component to it. They can talk about the greatest homecoming on earth, maybe, but several teams maybe can compete against them saying we got a great homecoming. So you're right. At some point, when you really look at the components of recruiting, where are you able to show that you have the advantage? I want to close because we do got to get to our last schedule in our next segment. And again, Hampton was picked 12, as you see here. I did want to shout out Champ D. He said we beat Campbell last year. We can beat Bryan. He sees 4 conference wins. That's pretty significant. 4 conference wins. That's significant, yeah. Yep. If you can get to 2 or 3 non-conference wins, I think that's doable. Then 6, 7 wins is a visible thing. But to this point, if you don't get to 6 or 7, that means that you're winning for at least 3 conference games to get that 6, 7 mark. Let's take our last break. Come back on the other side. We'll do our last independent. I'll be truthful. I'm excited about Tennessee State's schedule. This year, oddly enough, that's because it's so SWAC heavy. Well, let me turn the page. We'll be right back on the other outside of the break.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game. It's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins! The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain! Available now. Let the journey begin.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V108 The Vibe radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book, and your digital passport to a world of savings.
Oh my God! This is your invitation to the moment. The Divine Nine, the bands, the parties, the performances, creating memories with your people. So pull up to the 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. It just hits different. Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens, Florida. It's the culture, the connection, the pride. One weekend, one experience, one big community. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they On the law, yeah, and who the ball, who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I have the professors, Professor Bishop, Professor Drew, Professor Kelvin, giving you some love today. With that being said, let's get into this last one. Tennessee State. I'm more excited about their non-conference schedule than anything. But I'm intrigued about this second year. We got a lot of first-year coaches in terms of independent programs. I think that's something to key onto. Which one of these coaches are able to make a statement, either in their first year or certainly in their second year, is going to be fascinating. One thing I do want to say before we turn all our attention to Tennessee State again, shout out to HBCU Central Network giving us the graphic. And Quasi Free said A&T has less than 50 reserved season tickets left on the home side. We talked about the marketing. That just gives you a framework. If you do some creative and really good marketing, take advantage of a historical moment, you see what a fan base that is looking for something to appreciate can do. So credit to A&T fans from that perspective. No one can belittle that factor. But back to Tennessee State. Start things off August 29th. This is fascinating. Got a chance to look at a couple of gentlemen that are doing a podcast, Roar, if you would, in terms of TSU. And they brought in Ken over there for 1400 Club. Jackson State talking about it a little bit. And they got some things working on it. But the fan base is electric in terms of exciting about getting this back together. Jackson State likes to find places to roll. And when it's new, they tend to go a little deeper than normal because they like to be like, hey, let's go see what's up there in Nashville for a minute. They show up deep, too. Only thing I hate about this game is that the scheduler decided to put it on the same day. I mean, we can't get like Friday, Saturday, Sunday matchups to open things up. Maybe that's killing me. But Charles, I'm gonna let you jump on this first in terms of the schedule here, particularly with some of these key matchups. Obviously, Georgia, it is what it is. Then you got Alabama A&M. It's on the road, and then they go right back on the road to FAMU. Then they get into conference play with some key matchups. They got 5 of their conference games at home. I think that's something to consider. I always like to be better to be at home than on the road.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I know you might have to get out of here, Charles, so I'm going to let you go first, as I said, so you can get into this matchup. What are your thoughts in terms of the schedule for 2026 for Tennessee State Tigers?
I think you touched on it in terms of having conference games at home. I think that could be huge for Tennessee State. And what I pay attention to, especially the month of October, especially for Tennessee State, when they had that good season, they really started to get rolling, really 1st of October, and it really that momentum kind of carried them through the rest of the season. Can they beat Western Illinois? Yes. UT Martin, that'll be a tough one. Can they knock off Morgan State? Can they knock off Charleston Southern? Yeah, so they can run off some games in October, and then Lindenwood. I think that's another one that they have an opportunity to make some hay. So Tennessee State, I easily can see them sitting around 6-7 wins this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I know Mickey Allen has been sidelined, but I have to say I'm pretty sure they weren't mad at the schedule in terms of what he gave. He did some stuff. Obviously, Morgan State is not an OVC game, but I did put that in terms of those 4 or 5 at home kind of end things. So that's fascinating. And they get that homecoming against Morgan State. It's a chance for both of those programs to have a solid win.
I know him.
Someone's playing. Yeah. Let me go with you, 80. What are your thoughts in terms of Tennessee State?
Did you give him UT Martin, Charles? I didn't.
That'd be a tough one. UT Martin is a hell of a team. So.
And I'm not giving them last 3 either against Southeast Missouri, Eastern Illinois, and Garner Webb. I'm not giving them those 3.
They got to get one.
They got to. But
I mean, if they trying to get to where they want to be in terms of make a statement, that's when I say got to. And they're at home.
I'm not giving them those three. But this is our third of three programs that are hitting the reset button. You know, after Jackson State, 4 consecutive road games in 5 weeks, one FBS game, 2 SWAC opponents before opening up conference on the road with Western Illinois. You know, I really can't give them that non-conference. You know, I'm not even gonna give Morgan State non-conference, so I don't see them getting to that number. You know, this is going to be tough for Reggie Barlow second year. Now, if they can split those 2 early they can get 2 of those 3 SWAC opponents early. Now you're talking maybe possibly a resurgence of the Tigers, but I wouldn't go to Vegas and put any money on it.
So you don't think you think
watch this? Don't put ChatGPT. Don't put Tennessee State schedule on ChatGPT. They coming out with something weird.
Oh, I'm not putting it. I won't put it in ChatGPT. This is right here.
I was like, oh my god.
This is the old-fashioned eye test. Jackson State should be favored against them. Florida A&M favored. Alabama A&M favored against Tennessee State,
especially at home.
Yeah,
they're playing everybody at home. I don't know about the FAMU game.
Order finish was not kind. Man, they got 9 votes. Everybody had them last base.
Yeah, they did.
So they got them losing to Lindenwood, SEMO, and Eastern Illinois.
Yep.
Everybody. They got 9 votes, so just about everybody put them last. Somebody put them 7, I guess.
Well, that's because they couldn't vote for themselves. Mm-hmm. They didn't vote for themselves in that spot. That's their vote you're talking about, Dr. Cavil, that you can't figure out where the extra points came from. That was them.
Well, here leads back to the other question.
That's a good point.
Are they in over their head?
Number 8.
Are they in over their head in the OVC?
Well, they've been in there over their head for the last 30 years. So what you expecting, Kelvin? Well, 40 years.
Well, give them a couple years ago. Give them a couple years ago.
Didn't they win the conference 2 years ago?
Pro Clock is right twice a day. So what you talking about?
They were co-champions. Y'all act like
a Pro Clock.
So they got 3 championships in 40 years. One of them is a co-championship. The other one was taken away.
I'm not standing up for them because Jackson State gonna beat them by 40.
Fam, you by 30.
Oh my God, y'all are
Yeah, y'all.
I get A&M by 9.
You ain't got nothing else to add to the schedule, what you?
I mean, I'm looking at the schedule only because I know Lindenwood well and I know SEMO, Southeast Missouri well.
Right.
They probably can beat.
Yeah.
I'm not even going on a limb. They'll probably beat Lindenwood and Eastern Illinois. Eastern Illinois has been good since Cooper Kupp and Tony Romo, and they now Eastern Illinois will keep a star in their pocket, but they have nothing going on over there right now. And out in Lindenwood, they're in a topsy-turvy with regards to their football program because what they figured out was they should have never went D1. And they ran to D1, and now they're like, whoa, I think we ran too fast. And they thought it was something that it wasn't. So now they're in a quandary. So SEMO is always a stout opponent. They're like that opponent that gives you a great game, and in your best year, you might be able to beat them. Because they get really good recruits, especially out of Arkansas and out of that Memphis area. So, that's one of the pieces. So it might not be that bad, Drew. Oh, okay.
What about the other Tennessee school? You gave them Lindenwood. Can they get Tennessee Martin?
No. No.
I was being optimistic.
Yeah, no. They can't do that. Well, it's just going to be too systematic. The mistakes are going to catch you. Any type of special teams mishaps is going to turn into scoring. It's going to be.
Which of the 3 going to have the best record, and how many wins? Charles.
Tennessee State. Tennessee State.
With how many wins?
I can get them to
Is
5.
greater than the OVC.
Hold on, man.
That's not hard to say. I mean,
Yeah, I can get them to 5.
which it's either team that comes out of there can go deep in the FCS playoffs. So I'm not like,
Yeah.
You said 5, Charles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if everything breaks great, they can get to 6, but I can get them to 5.
All right. You had A&T at how many?
I got A&T at 7. I think A&T is going to definitely have a better record.
Yeah, I had A&T round 3 or something like that.
Ooh.
I got A&T, A&T, Tennessee State, Hampton. A&T at the top.
All right. Good one. We'll call it a show today. Good stuff. Stay with us next week. We get into the SWAC, and we're going to go SWAC West because Prairie View won the championship. We'll start with those 3 teams. We'll do predicted order of finish. So we'll give you the schedules over that. We'll start with the West, and then the following week we'll get into the East, and then we'll give you the MEAC the week after that. So 3 straight weeks we'll get into these schedules for segments 2, 3, and 4. So if you have some comments and thoughts that you want to make sure we bring in and consider, go ahead and put that out there in the chat. Check us out on our platforms for Threads, Facebook, whatever, or send us a text. Give us some information. Give us your thoughts there, and we'll get in, make sure we have those comments. But continue to get us in here. Enjoy us as we see you all are doing what y'all supposed to do in the chats. Let me know which one of you think these 3 teams, independent-wise, are going to have the best season and why. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. You had AD Drew and Kelvin Carter. Thank you for joining us out of the St. Louis, giving us some love. Y'all don't get in too much trouble up there, but
The bar is right there around the corner. It's about 30 feet away?
Yeah, you can't wait, huh? Every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We look forward to Thursday as we discuss the latest news on the lab. Well, excuse me, I done messed it all up. Today is Thursday. We'll get with you next week. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. It's DrKenyattCavil, Threads, Facebook, Instagram. See, I'm throwing off. You can see I'm still on vacation. I came back that Monday after this early 4 weeks. It's throwing me off. And we got to get things going. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
AD?
Lecture.
Kelvin?
Dismiss.